Give me a minute and let's talk about how Russia's influence in the world continues to wane. Today, it is being reported that the Russian peacekeepers in Azerbaijan are leaving Azerbaijan after their disastrous failed attempt to intervene in the events of Nagorno-Karabakh. The complete impotence that the Russians showed there. They are withdrawing their troops. Now, it's important to recognize that the Azeris blew up their command post during their attack on Nagorno-Karabakh. Unaliving, the reports differed, but it was somewhere between 5 and 7 officers of the general staff, the commanders of these peacekeepers, who never kept the peace, who never did their job, who were completely impotent in making sure that the humanitarian aid corridor to Nagorno-Karabakh remained open. And then in the face of the Azeri onslaught, just stepped aside and let them walk all over the Armenians. Now, the question of Nagorno-Karabakh is a very complex one, and I'm not taking sides on that. What I'm trying to highlight is that the Russians were invested in that territorial dispute and proved themselves to be completely impotent and unable to do anything. Impotent and incompetent. And when attacked, did not retaliate. They couldn't retaliate. How can they retaliate? What's left of their bedraggled army is being obliterated every day in Ukraine. They are demilitarizing themselves. Now they're out of Azerbaijan. They're already out of Armenia. The old Soviet base in Armenia is said to be a ghost town staffed by a skeleton crew, and all the equipment is gone, pulled to Ukraine. Everything that was in Kaliningrad, again, down to a skeleton crew, the equipment in Ukraine. All the air defense along the Finnish border, pulled to protect domestic targets inside of Russia. The air defense in the Kuril Islands, pulled to defend targets inside of Russia. Russia's power in the world is fading, and it's fading fast. The Azeris were happy to see these bastards go. You can be sure of that. And they're never coming back, and the Azeris know it. They know it. Everybody is getting out from under the thumb of Moscow. And Moscow will soon be left, well, right now, I mean, who do they have on their side? The Iranians and the North Koreans. Maybe China a little bit. But China's not going to war for Russia. You can be sure of that. And I don't think the Iranians and the North Koreans are going to war for Russia either. They're happy to trade because no one will trade with them besides the Russians. And they're happy to rake the Russians over the coals, selling them shit at 10 times what it's worth because they're, being sanctioned. And so they got to get their piece of the action. And they know that Russia is desperate. Russia is barely holding on to its own borders, which right now are bursting at the seams. And the withdrawal from Azerbaijan is just another example of Russia's waning influence in the world. I want to give a big shout out to Mike Ryan, who is a member of the Patreon, but this is not his Patreon video. This is for his above and beyond help in getting me my visa, which I really appreciated, Mike. And you got a live sponsorship coming up too this week. I think Thursday or Friday, pal, you're on the docket. So thanks for your continued support, Mike. It really means a lot. I literally could not do this without the Patreon supporters. If you want a video shout out, join the Patreon at the $30 a month level or higher. And I will thank you because I couldn't do it without you. Thanks, guys.